Hey there, fellow explorers! Today, we're going to continue our series of comparing all the Disney Cruise Line ships. It is, at this moment, the last installment of our comparison between ships because we are on the last ship currently, which is the Disney Wish.
But not for long.
This is going to be quite a departure from the other ships. They made this one very different, so we've got a lot to talk about. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. Let's go.
Where are they going? What'll they see? It's J&T Exploring! So like we said, today we are going to talk about the Disney Wish.
You'll notice these spirit jerseys are not white.
No.
These spirit jerseys actually represent the godmother of the Disney Wish, which are actually the godchildren of the Disney Wish, and it's the Make-A-Wish Foundation children.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of a departure. By the way, Disney Wish started sailing in 2022, so
Yesterday.
brand new. And she is the 5th ship in Disney's fleet.
We were actually very, very fortunate to be on the first public sailing of the Disney Wish, and that was so insane. It was so surreal to be on the ship and like the carpet hadn't been like worn in yet, and like you could smell. I feel like in Titanic I could still smell the fresh paint. Like, but really though, everything was brand new. Some of the signage hadn't even been put up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such a crazy experience to get to go do that. And hopefully we get to do that on the Treasure, which is coming out next year.
So the rest of Disney Cruise Line is very similar. So for the big atrium, we use the word atrium a lot. For the Disney Wish, we have departed from that and we've actually gone with a grand hall. So it's very similar to like the atrium, but it's a little bit bigger.
It's more grandiose. They've put a lot of effort into this castle at sea design thought process that they wanted to have on the Wish. So they wanted it to be a Disney castle at sea.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, it really has, you know, these majestic columns and like the sweeping staircases and a lot of like gold detailing and like spirals and like
There's a stage. Instead of elevators right off the atrium, there's a stage. And they'll do little performances throughout the cruise. Also, there's like a surprise curtain right above the stage where when you walk in for the first time, you want to look up there because someone will be up there to greet you.
Totally. I think when we were up there with Cinderella and her prince.
I think so.
The chandelier in the atrium is the wishing star. So we've taken a real departure from like that, like we said, that classic cruise theme and like Art Deco, Art Nouveau, and it's a wishing star. It's a cool chandelier to look at. It sort of looks fake when you're looking at it, like it's like computer rendered or something because like it's shiny and like the dimensions in it, but super, super pretty. I loved the chandelier a lot.
Yeah, I did too. And when you first get on the ship, they're gonna give you a wand.
Yeah.
So you can help make wishes come true. And the chandelier,
Wishes do come true.
yes. And the chandelier throughout the cruise will like interact and do different things. Like we have a midnight kiss that happens. They did stuff for Pirate Night, the chandelier, and then at the very beginning when we are making wishes come true, the chandelier is also gonna interact in that instance as well.
Yeah, it was super fun. And don't worry if you're not like a stay up till midnight person. They actually start the midnight kisses at like 10.
Yeah. We do still have a statue in the Grand Hall, and for the Wish, it is Cinderella. And right behind Cinderella, peeking out under her dress, are Jacques and Gus Gus. And then even farther behind is Lucifer the cat from Cinderella, trying to catch the mice.
It's a really cute statue. I liked it a lot. And then it's nice because like Cinderella's standing right there, and then on the edge of the banister of the grand like staircase is her glass slipper. So we saw a lot of people getting like their photos taken with like the slipper with Cinderella in the background. And on the back of the ship, painting the name The Disney Wish, is Rapunzel and Pascal.
Of course, always Pascal.
Now this is the biggest ship to date that Disney has done. It holds 5,500 So that's a lot of people.
It doesn't feel overly crowded.
No, they've done, as we go through, we'll explain in better detail, but they've done really well in separating the ship into so many smaller venues that it doesn't feel overcrowded or overpopulated on the ship.
There was only one place that I felt was overcrowded, and we'll get to that later.
So just like every other ship, the first thing I'm gonna do is stuff my face. Y'all know this by now. So if we head up to the buffet on the Disney Wish, it is not Cabanas anymore, it is Marceline Market.
It's really cute. Different sections of Marceline Market are themed to different Disney characters. So you have like Maurice's workshop, which is Belle's father. There is a Ratatouille section, so the book anyone can cook is like in the little case. And there's a teeny tiny little rat chef hat, really cute. And it's themed all the way around. Again, Marceline Market being the buffet goes around the entire back of the ship, so you can find theming all the way around. It's really cute.
And part of Marceline Market also is a coffee shop that's themed to Alice in Wonderland. Now this is again a departure from the other ships, because normally the only specialty coffee that happens on the ships is the Cove Cafe, but here there's a bunch of cafes sort of interspersed. So the one at Marceline Market is themed to Alice in Wonderland. And the food at Marceline Market was really good. On the Wish, I feel like it was more worldly cuisine. So we got like some butter chicken that was so good.
And they have a kids counter, so you can still get those world famous chicken strips. But the kids counter's cute because it's like down lower at the kids level. And it's gonna serve all the classics, you know, the chicken tenders, the carrots and celery sticks,
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
But it was nice. I liked Marceline Market a lot. I felt like the food was definitely elevated from Cabanas, even though it was still like pretty typical buffet fare, but it just seemed a bit heightened.
Yeah. And one tip is that if it feels like all of the seats are very full, if you walk, so if you're facing Marceline Market like food counters, if you turn around and walk the other way, there's like kind of hidden seating back a little bit farther that you can't see when you first walk in.
Yeah, if you head back towards the entrance, there's like a little seating area that pulls off.
But not a lot of people realize that it's back there, so it's a good place to find seating if you're like, oh, where do I sit?
Just like the other two big ships, as we leave the buffet, there is a sweet shop. This one is themed to Inside Out, and it's called Joyful Sweets. Again, this is where they're gonna have specialty ice creams and gelatos and cupcakes, and this one has like memory orbs, so you can like break them open and they're like chocolate balls filled with candy.
Yeah, very Wonder Ball-esque, if you know what those are. It's really cute in there. They have a whole wall full of memory orbs. And then out on the pool deck, we have switched it up again. So we have Mickey's Festival of Foods. So this is like the new Mickey Mouse shorts that are on Disney Plus. Really, really good food. We have Mickey's Smokestack Barbecue, which has barbecue, obviously. It's really good.
Yeah, good ribs, brisket, cornbread, corn on the cob. Just like traditional like southern barbecue fare. They've got a ton of different sauces that you can pair with all your meats. It was really good food.
Yeah, actually better than I expected it to be. Which is maybe rude, but...
No, but I think that's a common thread on the Disney Wish, is I felt like, again, even the like quick service by the pool felt like heightened, and like they had put just like a bit more effort into it.
Yeah.
Also at the Festival of Foods, where we're gonna get those soft serve cones, is gonna be mini sweet ice cream. This one is different though. The Disney Wish was built in the middle of the pandemic, so there are certain things you can definitely tell, and Minnie's ice cream is one of those. On all the other ships, you just go up and you make your own soft serve ice cream cone. Minnie's ice cream, it's still all included, but you have to ask a cast member who's there to get you an ice cream cone.
We should mention too, Marceline Market is the same way. On the rest of the Disney ships, Cabanas is like a serve yourself buffet. Marceline Market is not. They dish the food for you. You tell them what you want. Next up was my personal favorite, Donald's Cantina. You can get tacos, burritos, or like burrito bowls. It's a lot like Chipotle.
Yeah.
Where it's like a build your own experience. It was really, really good.
So good. They had a whole like salsa bar next to it where there were tons of different salsas to try, and it was so like fresh and nice. I wish they had this on all the other ships. It was nice to just like go grab like a taco and it was. I loved Donald's Cantina.
Yeah, me too. It was a win.
Yeah. Then, because we just said hello to Donald, we will say hello to Daisy's Pizza Pie. So this is where we're gonna get all of that pizza. They bake it fresh there in like the ovens. So even the pizza I felt like was like just a little bit better.
A little better, yeah. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then the very last one is Goofy's Grill, which is gonna have, again, your classic American fare, hot dogs, hamburgers, those chicken strips, which we all love. For the first time, they have Impossible Burgers at Goofy's Grill. So if you are a plant-based diet, or if you're just trying to cut down on your meat intake, you can get an Impossible Burger.
Yeah, a really nice option. I felt that they had that there.
Yeah.
Also out on the pool deck, there's another place to get frozen treats, which is called Wheezy's Freezies on this ship. That's where you get a Dole Whip with rum, which y'all know, it's not a Disney cruise for us. We don't get a Dole Whip with rum. But you can also get like snow cones there.
Yeah.
Which was fun. There hasn't been that on the other ships.
Yeah, it was a little more diverse treats at Wheezy's Freezies versus like Frozone treats.
Yeah. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give us a subscribe and a thumbs up. It really helps.
All right, you want to talk about some rotational dining?
I'm ready. Because I rotated.
Yeah, I got it. So let's start with Arendelle, a frozen dining adventure. So this is gonna be most similar to like Tiana's Place or Rapunzel's Royal Table, where there's like an active show happening through most of your meal. It's in the round, so the stage is in the middle and all of the tables are like around. Disney says there's not a bad seat. There are a couple of bad seats.
Yeah, I mean, you're sort of going to run into that with theater in the round anyway. There's always going to be at least one seat or a few tables that's like maybe not ideal. They try to combat this. So the show that happens is they're having a party for Anna and Kristoff, and you're there, and Oaken is there, and Elsa's there, and Frozen. Olaf is his name. He is the Frozen. They're all there celebrating Anna and Kristoff, and so there's like musicians in the middle, and then like a story that goes through. But they combat this sort of like you might not have the best view of the stage by having the characters go through the dining room, you know, so like Elsa comes to the table maybe, or like Anna and Kristoff might come to the table. We had Olaf come to our table, which was really cool because they were using like an animatronic on a cart, so that was super fun.
Yeah, but it is important to note you will not see all of the characters at your table. So if there's someone in particular that your child would like to see, maybe just mention it to your waiter, and they might be able to do that for you.
And the theming in Arendelle was really spot on. They nailed everything from the cartoon. The walkway, just like down it, you pass by all the paintings that Anna mentions and, you know, her song. So it was like, the theming was incredible. It was so much detail in there.
Yeah, the wallpaper was like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really gorgeous dining room.
It wasn't my favorite show, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, and the food is really good. I enjoyed the food. So it's Nordic fare, so you get like a smorgasbord for one of your appetizers, which is similar to like a charcuterie board.
There was baked scallops that were really good. There was kjøttkake, which are like Norwegian meatballs.
Served on pasta. It's kind of like Swedish meatballs.
Yeah, but with pasta instead of potatoes.
Yeah.
It was really fun for me specifically because my family is Norwegian, so it was fun to like order like Norwegian meatballs at a restaurant because I like never get to do that, so it was fun.
And overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the food.
Yeah, the food was super good at Arendelle. I really loved the like fish sampler appetizer. That was super good. Our next stop on rotational dining is Worlds of Marvel.
Yeah, Worlds of Marvel. So, I'm gonna be brutally honest. This is my least favorite restaurant in all of Disney Cruise Line.
I agree. That's a controversial opinion. We know that for a lot of other vloggers, it's like their favorite. But it wasn't. I can get. We're not like the biggest Marvel people. I know it, and like I've seen the movies. But aside from that, like the food just wasn't at the same level as the other restaurants.
Yeah, everything that I ordered at Worlds of Marvel was really bland, unfortunately. And I was not a huge fan of. So the show is all screens. The restaurant pretty much is all screens. And so it felt a little bit like I mentioned in our dream video, when you are at like a restaurant and there's a TV and you're just focused on the TV. That's kind of how it felt. And for me, that takes away a little bit from my dining experience because then I'm not talking to the people that I'm sitting with.
Right.
Because
So
we're all watching TV.
the show in Worlds of Marvel is that you've been invited to the Stark Technology Expo. And so Ant-Man and the Wasp are there on the screens talking about different technology that they've invented. You have a thing on your table called the Quantum Core. You like push buttons on it and it makes things on the screens like bigger or smaller. And so there's sort of like a story that way. The bad guy like wants to take this technology, but for most of the meal they were like, enjoy looking at all of this other Avengers tech, and it was just like literally clips from the movies just like playing around. So I don't know, it was fun, you know what I mean? And if you're like a big Marvel person, I think you'd probably get more out of it. But even then I feel like you could go like once and you're like, well, I saw the show. So it wasn't my favorite theming, and maybe we were there on an off day, but the food really wasn't great. I enjoyed the red pepper dip for the bread.
Yeah.
That was good. And my dessert was good. But my like salad and my main were just really lacking in flavor for me. For like I said, we might have been there on an off day, but like if I went back on the Wish and like I might skip Worlds of Marvel and do like one of the specialty dining restaurants instead.
I wouldn't necessarily want to skip it. I would like to try it again to see, maybe we did have an off night because I watched other vlogs where people rave about the food.
That's fair.
But that was not our personal experience.
Mm-hmm. But if you and your party are like huge Marvel fans, then like, I mean, the theming was good in there. It was all like technology and, the Ant-Man and the Wasp came out at the end of the meal and like we had accidentally made like a giant cupcake, and so like it was fun, and like the show had like funny moments.
Yeah, and I liked the like quantum core thing when everyone had to push the button.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
It was interactive and fun that way.
Yeah. But the rest of the show I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then last but most definitely not least is 1923. 1923 is the restaurant in the Grand Hall, and it is themed to Disney animation and like Disney through the years pretty much. There are two sides, so they've split it up, a Roy Disney side and a Walt Disney side, and every table that you can sit at is gonna get a different movie theme that you're set next to. Like we had Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and there was like fabric swatches, color choices.
Yeah, there's like concept art and maquettes and really just like every stage of animation into what goes into an animated feature. And they have everything from Snow White up to like, like Moana and like the more modern ones, and it was really fun. The whole restaurant is sort of themed to like a bistro in California. So they've split it up into different rooms. So it feels really small and intimate, even though you're in a main dining room. It feels like you're just in like a small little bistro. And I loved the theming. It was very like golden, age of Hollywood. We're in the like 1920s, 1930s. There's lots of golds and greens and really rich fabrics. And it honestly felt like we were at one of the extra pay restaurants. Like we were at a fine dining restaurant. And the food reflected that. The food in 1923 was the best main dining I've had on Disney Cruise.
I would agree. I think for me personally, 1923 is probably my favorite rotational dining room across Disney Cruise Line.
I would agree.
It's not quite as exciting for like small children because there's not a show happening, but for like the real Disney nerd to see the animation process just on the wall next to you is incredible.
Yeah, I could have spent like hours just literally. I mean, it was like being in a museum.
Yeah.
It was like eating inside of a Disney Animation Museum. I could spend hours just walking around and looking at all of the different artifacts that they put in there. It was really special. But yes, maybe not the biggest draw for those with like younger travelers. There's not, characters coming out. There's not like interaction. It's really just like eating at a nice restaurant. But I loved 1923 and the food was great.
It was incredible.
So then if we move on to specialty dining, which are going to be the extra pay restaurants, we've got Palo. Now, just like we have Palo on all the other ships, we have Palo on this ship, but it is called Palo Steakhouse. So what they've done is they've kept the Italian menu, but added a list of like high-end steaks. Palo on the Disney Wish is themed to Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast, the new live-action film. So there's lots of like gears and like references, like subtle references that way to Cogsworth. But I mean, the menu almost identically carries over from the other ships. They just add nice cuts of steak.
And then in place of Remy, we have Enchanté, which is themed to Lumiere. It's also like a French tasting menu.
Yeah, it honestly, like the layout of it is mirrored to Palo on the Wish. They're sort of just like two halves of the same restaurant, but one is themed to Lumiere and has a more French menu, and one is themed to Cogsworth and has a more Italian/steak menu.
Unfortunately, our cruise on the Wish was a pretty short cruise, so we weren't able to try either restaurant while we were there.
Right, we specifically didn't book one of the extra pay restaurants because we wanted to try each of the rotational dining rooms. So probably the next time we go on the Wish, we'll try either Enchanté or Palo, or both.
Or both.
If you fancy. And then with Palo and Enchanté, there is a bar and lounge area called The Rose, because we're keeping with that Beauty and the Beast theme, all in this like adult-only restaurants. So when you walk in, there's like the rose and the cloche on the table, and you go in, it's very like rose theme on the walls. Big sweeping views of the ocean. One whole wall is just windows. And then to backtrack a little bit, I guess, like the cafe where you get your coffee at Marceline Market that's like Alice in Wonderland themed, there's also other cafes throughout the ship. So right above the Grand Hall is the Wishing Star Cafe, and that one's all themed to Pinocchio. Super, super cute. There's a big like mosaic of Geppetto and Pinocchio, and on the bar there's a little like bronze Jiminy Cricket there.
It's really, really cute.
Every single time we walked past it, Jamie got annoying because I could not walk past without going, "The Wishing Star!" So if you are on the Wish and you hear that, say hi.
It's him.
It's me.
And then just one deck above that, we have the Enchanted Sword Cafe, which is themed to Sword in the Stone.
Yeah, exact same layout as the Wishing Star, just a deck above and themed to Sword in the Stone.
Yeah, so if you love coffee, the Wish is your ship.
There's so many places to get coffee. Just like on all the other ships, we have the kids clubs on the Disney Wish. They've done it a little differently though. normally the kids clubs are up in the middle of the ship, and on the Disney Wish, I should say the Disney Wish overall has a very adult feel to it. Not in like a raunchy way or whatever, but it definitely feels like more elegant. So I feel like if you're adults traveling with no children and you aren't necessarily even like the biggest Disney buffs, I feel like the Wish is your ship because it feels just sort of like elevated and elegant with Disney touches around.
Yeah.
So back to the kids clubs. What they've done differently on the Wish is that they've taken all of the kids clubs and put them down in the bottom of the ship. So they're really tucked away down there.
So if you've been on a Disney cruise, you'll know that Oceaneer Club and Oceaneer Lab are usually on deck 5. So sometimes if you're doing things on deck 4, you can hear the kids like stomping around, being loud, which is fine. They're kids, I get it. We have solved that problem by putting them in the lower portion of the ship, but we've made it fun for the kids because from the Grand Hall, there is a slide to take them down to the kids clubs.
Yeah, and pro tip, if it's open house, then the adults can ride the slide too.
So inside of Oceaneer Club, the first stop is Minnie and Mickey's Captain's Deck. And that's like a little soft playground for the younger kids. Mm-hmm. And then we have Fairy Tale Hall.
That's where like the princesses will come and interact. They have a whole like Frozen section where like Anna and Elsa show up. There's also Star Wars Cargo Bay, which is sort of themed to like you walked into like the cargo bay of the Millennium Falcon. It's very heavily themed. There's like animals in containers that are like interacting with like data pads and stuff.
And then we have Marvel Superhero Academy, where they can like create their own Marvel costume.
Mm-hmm. And then they can play like a video game as their character in that costume.
Yeah, and I think the Marvel characters come out and like do meet and greets there too.
Yeah. And there's also a whole Imagineering section where they get to like design their own roller coaster and then like test ride it in a little like simulation seat. That's so cool. I want to do that.
I know.
Where's that for me?
I want to be an Imagineer.
Oh, that's the dream.
And then we have Edge and Vibe. They are both towards the top of the ship, actually. Next to Edge and Vibe, there is also the Hero Zone, which replaces like the sports deck. Mm-hmm. It's an indoor sports deck where you can play like basketball, or they have this giant like inflatable playground that they do races through.
And that's available to everyone. That's not like a kids only space.
That's also where they're gonna do the diaper dash, if you're into the diaper dash.
So we talked about the kids. They're down in the bottom of the ship. They're having a great time. Where do the adults go?
Wherever they want.
But really, on this ship, it really is very focused towards the adults.
Yeah, again, we've taken a departure from an adult-only area and spread the bars and lounges really throughout the entire ship. So there's really, like, anywhere you want to be is kind of an adults-only zone.
Yeah. Up on the pool deck, there is obviously an adults-only section of the pool. Still, it's off on the very back of the ship this time. So you walk around the side of the ship and you go over, and there's infinity pool there. There's hot tubs. There's like water loungers.
The seats are all upgraded, super cushy, comfy, nice seats.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Cove Cafe tucked away in the very back.
Very tucked away. It's sort of difficult to find at first.
Yeah, and there's only one way in and one way out.
Mm-hmm. There's
also the Cove Bar at the back of the ship, right next to the infinity pool. One thing that I did really enjoy about the adults only area on the pool deck is that it is at the back of the ship, so you don't have the same thing on the other ships where kids are walking through because it was in the middle of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So I do really enjoy that.
Yeah, I thought it was very separate, which like was really nice. If you're going to an adult-only section, you would like expect that.
Yeah.
And the Cove Cafe was really beautiful. It was all themed to like Moana, like Polynesia. Again, get a beautiful specialty coffee while you're there. And then, like Jamie said, there's not one adult-only section on the ship, so the bars and lounges are just sort of scattered throughout. So first stop would be Nightingale's, which is right off of the Grand Hall.
It is gorgeous. It's a piano bar. They do live piano performances in there later in the evening. During the day, the doors are closed, so a lot of people don't realize that it's open, and you can go in there. It's very quiet. They have this really pretty chandelier that's like iridescent balls hanging, so it looks like bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
And then around it is actually the music for Sing Sweet Nightingale.
I lost my mind. We were sitting there having a drink, and like I don't know why Disney details ever surprise me, but like we were sitting there having a drink, and I looked at the chandelier, and we both have like a musical background, and so I looked at the notes, and I was like, that is the music to Sing Sweet Nightingale, and I lost my mind. It was such a cool little detail that I don't think a lot of people notice. But the staff in there could not have been nicer, and the drinks were super fun. This whole space is themed to like bubbles, because it's like this scene where Cinderella's scrubbing the floor and she sings with all the bubbles of herself. Mm-hmm. So Jamie got a drink that had like a smoke bubble on top of it, and that was super cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. So like it came out and they blew the smoke bubble on top of it, and then I just got to pop it, and all the smoke goes everywhere. It was really pretty. It's like this color.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thomas got a drink that had a ice bubble
mm-hmm.
in it.
Yeah, so I had to they gave me a tiny little hammer, which might not be the best idea, but they gave me a tiny little hammer, and I had to break through the ice bubble to get to my drink. It was fun. I loved the interactive element, but it still felt elevated, like a nice lounge.
Yeah, I think this also kind of is supposed to be the champagne bar, because they also serve champagnes for the air bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Is the category. It's all really nice champagnes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved Nightingale's, and during the middle of the day, like Jamie said, I think a lot of people thought it was closed because for almost our entire time in there, we were the only people.
Yeah.
So it was really quiet, even though it was just off of the Grand Hall. It was so quiet and peaceful. There was just nice music playing. I loved Nightingale's.
Not only were we the only guests in there, but for a couple minutes, the cast members left us in there alone as well.
They went back into the kitchen, and we were just it was wild.
So then if we continue our walk down the hall, right next to that is going to be Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge. So this is obviously themed to Star Wars.
No.
I know, right? Crazy. They go into hyperspace every once in a while, every few minutes or something.
And you're in a lounge.
I don't honestly know a ton about Hyperspace Lounge because there was a waiting list and we did not get a table while we were there.
Yeah, which was fine. Again, we're not the biggest Star Wars people. And the poor hosts who were dealing with people who were irritated. Like I said, we were on the first public sailing, so a lot of people wanted footage of inside the bar, and there was this huge wait, and I just felt so bad for them for having to deal with people. We both during the day work in customer service, and so we're maybe a little hyper aware of that. But it is a cool space inside. It's all themed Star Wars, and you're supposed to be on this star cruiser going through space, and similarly to the Skyline Lounge, like Jamie said, you go through hyperspace and then different places from Star Wars show up on the screens that are the windows outside.
Yeah.
This is where you can get that crazy, I think it's $5,000 drink on there that comes with a trip to Skywalker Ranch. If that's your life, I'm so happy for you. It's just crazy to me. But it's fun. I also know that it has a haptic floor system in there, so when it jumps into hyperspace, you'll feel the floor vibrate, the ship is going through space. And then just outside of Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge is the Bayou. This was such a beautiful space. It's all themed to Princess and the Frog. There's a statue of Tiana and a statue of Naveen.
As frogs.
And then there's this beautiful ceiling of magnolia blossoms. There's these booths with this beautiful tile work in it. It's this tiered area. So it's really nice just to like stop in there. It's real easy because it's in the middle of two walkways on either side. So it's just sort of like in the open. It's not a secluded space by any means, but it's really nice. They do live jazz music there. I know they do some trivias there as well.
Also, you can get beignets.
Yeah.
The beignets are an extra charge, but they're there.
Yeah, and the drinks there were really nice.
Yeah.
And I will say I was surprised at how separated I did feel for the space being literally in between two walkways and completely open. There aren't walls. I still, when I was sitting in there, felt separated from the people who were like walking past.
Yeah, and then the very last one is Keg and Compass. So Keg and Compass is themed to like Norse sea travel. There's a giant map on the ceiling. There are like octopus arms coming out of the walls holding different Disney treats, which is really cute. This is kind of more like the pub on the Disney Wish. It's really cute. It was probably one of my favorite bars. It definitely had my favorite drink. I'll say that much.
100%. If you are on the Disney Wish, like I would get the old-fashioned glog. If you like, so we're not like big sweet drink people.
Yeah.
The old-fashioned glog, if you like an old-fashioned, I mean, it was an old-fashioned with Viking spices. For those of you who don't know, like, it means cardamom.
Yeah.
Cardamom. We love cardamom in, like, Norwegian, like, cooking. You, like, put cardamom in everything. And it was an old-fashioned with, like, cardamom syrup, and it was so good.
It was really good. Also in here, you can get, like, a giant pretzel. There's some other snacks. That's something kind of unique to the Disney Wish. Not the bars and lounges on the rest of Disney Cruise Line don't really serve food, but every bar on the Disney Wish had food you could order as well.
It was nice. I got like a beer cocktail at Keg and Compass, and that was interesting because I don't think I'd had like a beer cocktail before.
Yeah, that was interesting. But the theming, like I said, is really cute. On the map that's on the ceiling, there's like different Disney characters, where they're from. It's really cute.
So now let's head up to the pool deck. Now, the Disney Wish does not mess around with pools. There are 7?
There's a lot.
There's so many pools. Rather than have like just a couple big pools, they split them up into a lot more smaller pools.
So on the main pool deck where you're going to be able to see funnel vision, at the very front you have Mickey's pool. This is the one that gets covered by the stage when we do shows. And then further back we have Donald's pool and Goofy's pool. They're not super deep pools, they're kind of like wading pools. And then if you take the stairs up, there is Pluto's pool and I think Minnie's pool, and they kind of were like almost no water in there, kind of just like people sat in there to watch the movie on funnel vision, just to catch a little bit of shade or cool down a little bit. That's something I should mention about the pool deck. There is very little shade.
Yeah, as two people with very fair skin, it was honestly quite difficult to lay out on the pool deck for us because there really is like no shade.
Yeah.
To the point where like the ground got so hot, people were like running to like get from shaded spot to shaded spot because there really wasn't a lot of shade at all. I'll be interested to see if that continues or if they like renovate to create more shade, because I know I heard other people who were like, where is the shade?
Yeah, it made it very hard for us to sit out on the pool deck for very long. Keeping in theme with pools, we also, towards the front of the ship, have Chip and Dale's pool. It's much more like secluded. I know a lot of families like to go there to like have a quieter pool space.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that it's up there,
Yeah.
so it's definitely quieter.
And then we have a splash zone, but instead of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, it is themed to Toy Story.
Yeah. So you get a bunch of like Toy Story characters spitting water in your face.
Yeah, it's cute. And then also right there we have Trixie Falls and we have Slidosaurus Rex.
Yeah, Slidosaurus Rex is, I like it on the Wish because it's, I mean, very similar to like the Twist and Spout on the other ships, but that is just for kids. And this one, adults can ride too.
Yeah. So now, I suppose, keeping in the theme with slides, we have the Aqua Mouse, Disney's first attraction at sea.
The Aqua Mouse was so fun, and there was a lot of hype around it going into our cruise. So everyone like had to do the Aqua Mouse at least once. It was so much fun. I mean, honestly, it's pretty similar to the Aqua Duck, but it starts completely differently. So it starts and you're like on this tube and you go into this tunnel that just like raises you up to this huge hill. And on either side of you, you're now immersed in a Mickey short. And so you're going through this Mickey short story and there's screens on either side where you're watching what's happening. They're squirting water at you as it goes. And on the very top, you go down the big hill and then you like shoot up the other hill and you go down. And like, I loved the Aqua Mouse.
Yeah, it was really fun.
There's 2 stories on the Aqua Mouse that change from day to day. So there's one that's like all alpine themed and it's like melting down as the abominable snowman.
And chases you.
And then the other one, there's like a giant squid that you're trying to escape from because you're like under the water and there's like mermaids. So it's fun because like they change it every other day. So like one day you write it and it's one story and the next day you write it and it's another story.
It was really fun. We got to write it 2 times while we were there and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun new take on like the Aqua Coaster.
Yeah.
So now to commemorate your incredible family vacation, we need souvenirs. Souvenirs for everyone. Or just you.
Whatever you feel.
So the shopping on the Disney Wish is another big departure from what you're used to on other cruise line ships. Down by the bayou is a lot of shopping, but none of that is like the Disney shopping where it normally would be on the other cruise ships. So down here we have a lot of like the high-end shopping. So we've got Enchanted Castle Jewels, which is gonna sell like luxury jewelry.
We also have Royal Regalia, which sold like designer brand bags mostly, I think.
Yeah.
Some clothes too, but mostly bags.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chanel.
Gucci.
Yeah, like really high-end designer stuff.
Yeah, and then there was Once Upon a Time, which is a watch store. So they had really high-end watches, you know, like Bulgari and Cartier and
Breitling.
It was a lot of very luxury, expensive merch shopping. On that side, there's also Three Wishes, which again is like similar to the Regalia shop. There's bags and designer, like just like this whole section of these stores was essentially just like a bunch of designer goods in each one.
And then over on the other side of the hallway, we have Treasures Untold, which is still like the higher end stuff, but it's more like Whitecaps. It's a bit more accessible. It's like Pandora jewelry, Dooney and Burke, Tommy Bahama, stuff like that.
Yeah, a bit lower end than like Gucci.
Yeah, still nice things, but not quite like designer.
Yeah, not as expensive. More accessible, at least for me.
Yeah.
Then if you want your standard like cruise line shopping experience where you get the Spirit jerseys and you knickknacks and paddywhacks and give a dog a bone, then that's gonna be up on the next level. So right off of the Grand Hall, there's Mickey's Mainsail. The layout is very different on the Wish. It's really just sort of like a big long hallway of a store that you shop through. So it was a little hard to navigate the first time we went in, but I got the hang of it.
Yeah. This, I will say, is the one place that I was talking about where you really feel the capacity of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mickey's Mainsail is just that long hallway, it feels very crowded very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And the merchandise, at least when we were there, because we were on the first public sailing, if you wanted the merch, you better get it while it's there, because there were empty shelves multiple times during that cruise.
Yeah, although I will say, shout out to the retail team on that cruise, because like every day you'd come back and everything was restocked. It was beautiful. They like didn't run out of things. Like they you just had to wait for them to restock it. So like they did a really good job considering the pandemonium of everyone trying to get like Wish exclusive merch.
Another fun thing that I will say about Mickey's Mainsail is there's an entrance from Arendelle, a Frozen Dining Adventure. So when you're coming out of dinner, your kids might want to drag you right into that gift shop, just like at the parks.
Yeah, and they're smart because it's all like Frozen merch right there by the Arendelle restaurant. And then they also have a whole like Marvel section with some merch that's exclusive to the Wish, like that references the restaurant on the Wish. There was a lot of ship-specific merch. There was like Aquamouse shirts, and there was like Worlds of Marvel shirts and Frozen Dining Adventure shirts. So there was a lot of things that were really specific to this ship, like more than you would typically see.
Yeah.
But that's, if I had to change, I mean, other than adding more shade, the shopping experience on the Wish, I think, could definitely be upgraded. I wish they had put the like really expensive designer goods up in that hallway, sort of away. And I wish the main shopping thoroughfare was back to like their traditional Disney cruise shopping. Just because, like, quite honestly, that's what most people are buying. So I think they need the space.
Yeah.
Then just like on all the other cruise ships, we have shutters where you can buy your photos that they've taken throughout your cruise. You can go get a photo studio portrait session taken.
And then on the pool deck, we have Dory's Forget-Me-Nots, which is themed to mostly pool stuff. Again, you can get like rash guards, swimsuits, floaties, pool toys, all that good stuff.
They did also have a good selection of like hats and t-shirts.
Yeah.
And it was nice up there because it was definitely infinitely less crowded than the other stores. So like we did some shopping just up there. We got like some t-shirts up there, some hats.
Also on the Disney Wish, we have the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, just like on all the other ships. However, we've made a slight departure, so there's now a separate experience for adults where there is Hook's Barbery, so you can go and get a shave and a haircut.
2 minutes.
They also have a speakeasy in Hook's Barbery. They say it's really secret. It's right in front of the window.
I just can't. We have to stop with the fake. Like, everyone online is like, there's a secret speakeasy. It's literally, there's a huge window into the hallway, and like it's when you look into the barbershop, you're looking at the speakeasy. It's cute and I loved it, but like we don't pretend it's secret.
When we said secret speakeasy, I was expecting like a hidden door or something.
Yeah, I thought I'd have to ask like a cast member like, oh, can I like go into the speakeasy and like open a bookshelf, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like literally the entrance.
No,
of Hook's Barbery.
While you're getting your haircut, you can say, I'd like an old fashioned.
Right.
And then across the hallway, you can go to the Untangled Salon for manicures, pedicures, haircut and color, all of that good stuff.
And that's obviously themed to like Rapunzel.
Yeah.
And then if that wasn't enough self-care for you, there also is going to be the Senses Spa. So just like on all the other ships, it's a great place to go get a massage, go to the rainforest room. This one we did a tour of this because we were there on the first public sailing, so we wanted to see it. And it was very big. Again, it was like a big hallway. There's a theme on the Wish. A lot of spaces are sort of just like hallways. They're long, narrow spaces. But the Senses Spa was really beautiful. The rainforest room was good. They had like lounge chairs just like over like a water feature that you could relax on. And this Senses Spa is really nice because this is the first one to have a full like outdoor area. So there's a whole section of the deck outside that is just for the spa. So you can go out there and relax in like hanging chairs and recliners, and the hot tubs are out there. So they also have like a cold therapy room. So it was really fun. It looked really nice.
Yeah. And then as always, connected to Senses is the gym. Again, we don't spend a lot of time in there, but I do know they have really nice gym facilities and really nice machines. So if you are going to work out on your cruise, they offer a great place to do it.
Yeah. Ooh, also big tip. If you're like us and you like to just wander the promenade decks, the entrance to the promenade deck is actually in the Senses Spa.
Yeah.
So you have to go sort of like almost to the lobby of the Senses Spa and then make a left, and then you can go out onto the promenade deck. Ooh, we didn't even mention, the promenade deck on the Disney Wish is the first one where you can go literally all the way to the front of the ship and you can live your Jack and Rose moment.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of the entertainment on Disney Cruise Line. So, similar to D Lounge on the other ships, we have Luna. It's a big 2-floor area where we can do like bingo, we do a lot of game shows in there. We walked past when they were doing karaoke. A really great space. You can get drinks in there. We played bingo. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I really liked Luna as a space. It was interesting because it felt small compared to like, you know, its equivalent on the other ships would be like, you know, Evolution or the Tube or Azure, but because it's 2 stories, it really like isn't small. Ooh,
Yeah.
There's another pro tip for you. If you're going to bingo and it's at Luna, 90% of people are going to line up to get their bingo cards downstairs. If you line up upstairs, and the lines are significantly shorter. Also, if you're like us, you have to do bingo at least once
Oh,
on a cruise.
yeah, bingo's a must.
If you, we sat with some people on one of our last cruises who were like, I don't know, bingo. And we were like, trust us, it's super fun. And they went, they had a great time. So like, I know it's like, I don't know, cheesy? I don't know. It's
And
so
they
much
make
fun.
it so fun.
Yeah, I love bingo.
I love all of the cast members that do bingo. So
Mhm. And then just off of Luna, on the upper level of Luna, is the Triton Lounge. This is sort of like just a small, tiny little area tucked away. But they do like trivias in there. That's where we won Disney Cruise Line trivia. Ooh. I gotta say, nothing made me feel more like the coolest than being on that sailing of the Wish in a room full of everyone with their platinum lanyards, and we won Disney Cruise Line trivia.
it was pretty cool.
I felt really great.
And then on the Wish, we actually, instead of 1 movie theater, we have 2. So one is Wonderland Theater, themed to Alice in Wonderland, and the other is Neverland Theater, themed to Peter in the Pan. Peter in the Pan. Themed to Peter Pan.
And then just like on all the other ships, we have the Walt Disney Theater where we can see the big stage shows. On this ship, there's Seize the Adventure, which is the Disney variety show on this ship. I loved this one. Probably my favorite of the Disney variety shows.
It's so cute.
So good. You follow Goofy. He wants to like be the captain of the ship. And like at one point he's like hanging from the ceiling and like there's turtles. Like
Yeah.
it was so good. I really liked Seize the Adventure a lot.
Yeah, I really liked it as well.
And then they have Aladdin, which is the same show that's on the Fantasy right now. They just brought it over to the Wish. And then specifically for the Wish, they also made a stage version of The Little Mermaid.
It's like a retelling, though. They've reimagined The Little Mermaid, and it's more jazz music. We didn't get the opportunity to see it, unfortunately. It wasn't quite ready on our sailing, so we hope to see it the next time we're there.
Yeah,
But
I've heard good things.
yeah,
So the Disney Wish tends to sail shorter itineraries. It usually only does 3 and 4 nights in the Bahamas to take you to like Nassau, take you to Castaway Cay, which is also a qualm I have with the Wish. They've made this ship so large and expansive, and there's so much to see and do that like our cruise was not enough time. No, and a lot of stuff wasn't even ready when we were on the ship. So like, if everything was functioning the way it should be, there's no way you could see it all in 4 days.
yeah, I definitely feel that Disney intends for you to take multiple sailings on the Wish.
Sure.
But it was kind of sad that, you know, we didn't get to experience everything.
Right, well, and I know that's not something that's available to everyone to
Yeah.
be able to just like go. Like for a lot of people, a Disney cruise is maybe like a once in a lifetime vacation, or they've been saving up for a long time because it is a big expense and it's a big vacation to go on and it's exciting. So you want to like take everything in possible. And it was great, but like there definitely was stuff that like we missed out on because we were only there for a short amount of time.
And like we've said in other videos, we're really not the people that like to skip out on a port. If I'm at a port, I really want to go out and experience where I am. Even though I've been to Nassau multiple times, and even though I've been to Castaway Cay multiple times, I will never skip out on Castaway Cay.
No.
Never.
Not in this house. Not on this channel. It is also worth mentioning that while we were there, this wasn't working, but I know it is now. There's an interactive game on the Wish that you can do with your Disney Navigator app that'll make like magical things happen. You go on different adventures around the ship through that. So like that's like a whole day in and of itself. We just need longer itineraries on the Wish. I'm hoping as we add more ships, eventually we can get longer itineraries, but quite honestly, I think these new bigger ships are just going to be the workhorse ships doing the Bahamas all the time, because those are the most popular cruises to take, at least here in America.
Please, Disney, longer itineraries.
The new Disney Treasure is the sister ship to the Wish, and how am I supposed to go on a Disney Treasure adventure in 4 days?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do my best.
So there you have it, our overview of the Disney Wish, what we enjoyed, what we maybe didn't enjoy quite as much as the rest of Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah, this ship was so interesting, like we said, such a departure from the other cruise ships. So I'm very excited to see the next one, the Treasure, because I know it'll be really similar to the Wish.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching our series on comparing all the cruise ships. For now, this is the last episode, but we're gonna be there on the Treasure as soon as we can, and I'm sure we'll have a review video as soon as we come off.
So until next time,
Keep on exploring.